The Obama administration today releases new rules on the second half of the bank bailout program. The government plans on teaming up with investors to buy toxic assets from banks, and additional federal funds would be used to unfreeze credit markets. Meanwhile, President Obama travels to Fort Myers, Florida today to present his economic stimulus plan directly to the public. Last night, he held his first news conference where he spoke in depth about the plan and the economy. CBS News senior White House correspondent Bill Plante has a reality check. Good morning, Bill.
Morning, Harry. The president warned members of Congress that if they didn't enact his bill, that what is now a crisis could turn into a catastrophe. He took on the Republicans who charged that the bill is loaded with wasteful spending that won't create jobs. The president argued that the bill may not be perfect, but it is necessary.
Most economists, almost unanimously, recognize government is an important element of introducing some additional demand into the economy.
In fact, several hundred economists argued for more tax cuts rather than more spending. But the president dismissed that as the
failed theories of the last 8 years that got us into this fix in the first place.
The president told voters in Elkhart, Indiana, Monday that the stimulus would be good for a local highway there. Yet he insisted the bill has none of the pet projects known as earmarks.
Not a single earmark, and it has been stripped of the projects members of both parties found most objectionable.
Even so, the bill does call for some specifics that sound a lot like earmarks. $2 billion for a clean coal power plant, $2 billion for hybrid car batteries, $255 million for a Coast Guard icebreaker. Bottom line, says the president,
that it will save or create up to 4 million jobs.
But that's very hard to tell because it's very hard to put a number, and those are uncertain figures. Now, today, the president continues selling his stimulus plan by going to Fort Myers, Florida, where the housing market has completely tanked. Harry?
Bill Plante at the White House this morning. Thanks. Joining us from Washington, White House Press Secretary Robert Gibbs. Mr. Gibbs, good morning.
Harry, how are you?
Very well. Watched the president's press conference last night. It was very interesting. Part of the tone was, it's our way or the highway. Does the president really believe that the Republicans' objections are merely obstructionist?
No, I think what the president said last night is, look, there are some philosophical agreements that he'll never be able to change on the other side of the aisle. But as you saw yesterday, Democrats and Republicans worked together in order to move this process forward, and we hope we'll work together today to get this bill out of the Senate and one step closer to the president's desk.
As this thing does move forward, is your biggest concern Republicans in the House or Democrats in the House?
Well, look, again, Harry, we've got to work together to get something done. The president said that old habits die hard in this town. But when we visit places outside of Washington, like Elkhart, Indiana, that we went to yesterday, or Fort Myers, Florida today, that's seen the greatest number of home foreclosures during the past year, Washington begins to understand that we've got to work together for the American people and get something done. We've all seen these stories. In Elkhart, their unemployment rate has tripled over just the last year. So it's time for Washington to act and get along when doing it.
All right, let's move on to Tim Geithner today. He's going to unveil new plans for TARP, for the bank rescue package. The banks didn't use TARP money the way it was intended in this past go-round. Is there any guarantee going into the future that they will do so this time?
Well, you know, Harry, that's going to be a big focus of what Secretary Geithner is going to talk about today, using a public-private partnership so that when banks get this money, we've got some incentives to make sure that they're lending that money to small businesses and families that need it. We've got to make sure that credit and capital flow and that people have access to that kind of money so that they can create jobs and get the economy moving again. Right. That'll be a big focus of what Secretary Geithner will discuss.
And will it be any more transparent?
Absolutely, it'll be more transparent. We'll be able not only to look at what has happened before, but this administration, Secretary Geithner, are committed to a level of transparency and accountability that we haven't seen in the financial stability packages before.
How you like your new job?
So far, so good. It keeps me up early in the morning. I feel like a morning show guy.
You almost look like one, too. All right, Robert Gibbs, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks.